Hi, it's great to have you on Your Career Podcast. I'm Jane Jackson, and thank you for listening. If you're a new listener, why not subscribe to this podcast so you're the first to listen to each new episode that'll provide inspiration in your career? Just go to iTunes or Stitcher Radio if you use an Android device and click subscribe. I've also a free Kickstart Your Career audio course that you can find on my Facebook page at facebook.com/Jane Career Coach. See you there.
Welcome to Jane Jackson Careers, a podcast that takes your career to the next level. Here's your host, Jane Jackson, author of Amazon Careers bestseller, Navigating Career Crossroads.
Welcome back to my Careers Podcast, where I interview fascinating professionals who've made amazing career changes. And today, lucky me, I have Kelly Cairns, who is the tech angel from the UK, on the show. And we met round about October 2017 because I found her on Facebook because she's got this amazing Facebook group, and I'll let her tell you all about it. But let me just give you a little bit of a background on Kelly. So Kelly Cairns, she is the tech angel, and she's been running her own award-winning online business for the past 11 years. She's had the pleasure of working with clients such as Universal Studios, large music arenas, TV personalities, and Hay House authors. She works with female entrepreneurs every single day who want to move their offline business to a successful online business, making money through their website and social media, and mainly without spending endless hours of trading time. And I know what trading time for money is all about. And so having an online business, which enables you to get away from it, is a fantastic thing. Now, Kelly has scaled her own business to the point where she no longer has to be trading time for money. She can step away knowing she can still make money and also have a life. So entrepreneurs have a life. That's good, isn't it? So Kelly knows the exact steps you need to follow to automate your business. She's won numerous awards, most recently VA of the Year for the Northeast of England and runner-up VA of the Year for the entire United Kingdom. So let's find out a little bit about our tech angel. Welcome to the show, Kelly.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Well, I was so excited when you agreed to come on the show because I have been part of your Tech Angels Club on Facebook ever since October last year. And because of you, I've started Facebook Live videos and I'm really enjoying video. And anyway, before we go into all of that, let's find out about you and your career journey, because this podcast really is to find out how people made successful transitions, either into new roles or their own business, or how they might have changed industries. And you've done a little bit of all of those, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's whatever I've done from the beginning, it's always been a stepping stone anyway to where I am now. So I have. So it's been insightful.
Well, let's find out about you, Kelly Cairns, as a little girl, and when you were growing up, wherever you were growing up, and I believe it was Wales.
It was.
Yes, there you go. And when you were young and you were growing up, and say a young teenager, what did you have in mind when it came to your career?
Well, I was born in the 80s, but I always call myself a 90s kid. So I grew up kind of like in the 90s, and my both sets of grandparents had their own business. So I knew that I always wanted my own business. But back in the 90s, the perception was only the middle class or the higher class people had their own business, because I grew up in the valleys, as you say, in Wales, and it was very much mining community and working class community. So I never ever felt that I was ever going to achieve that. So I just put myself into education, went to college and found myself an office job. But my aspiration from when I was 11, because I went on work experience with a friend who had their own business, was to have my own business. I didn't know how that looked like. I didn't know whether or not it was going to be achievable, but it was just something that I wanted to do. All my friends wanted to be nurses or hairdressers, I just knew that I didn't want to work for anybody else. I could see how that kind of, at the time, not freedom because I was just a little girl, but I just felt that I wanted to be like my grandparents.
So entrepreneurship was really in your blood.
Yeah, if you look at that way, I mean, my mum, she was the care provider, so she never really worked when I was younger. She worked when I was older. So I am very much from women stayed at home and looked after the family, and the men went out to work. My dad worked in the pit mines, and he was also a door-to-door salesman, so he's very working class. But it was my grandparents, I think, that instilled that passion of not wanting to be like that. I wanted to be like them.
Oh, how fantastic. And so what happened? So from school days onwards, what did you do?
School, I absolutely hated it. I never went.
You know what? Most entrepreneurs hated school. So there you go.
Honestly, I hated it. And I never went. My parents didn't know I went. They do now. But I just never went. I never turned up at school, and I just absolutely hated the whole experience. But then I realised that actually, to get ahead in life, you do need an education. So I knuckled down when I went to college. I didn't want to go to university because I felt that it was going to be a waste of my time, and I just really wanted to just get in there and started to get experience. So I landed my first job as I finished college in a local business, in a damp proofing company. So I was the secretary. And then I moved on to a housing association, and I had numerous posts in there. I just kept kind of digging away and chipping away and getting promotions and just being where I wanted to be. And I had an amazing career in Wales. But then I met my husband, and I decided that I'm going to go on this massive adventure and move 300 miles north. So I did that. And then I got a job in the NHS, which I absolutely loved. I left there as the team leader for the dental team for the whole of the Northeast, which was fantastic, and I loved it. And that kind of gave me the passion to want to further myself more and help people more, because I had that role where I was very much the person helping them. I would help, like, even the IT department when they got stuck in IT wasn't even my job. So it was all of that. So all of that learning and teaching and all of that was just something that I knew that I wanted to do. And yeah, I guess that's kind of where I am now. Obviously, I was in the NHS and I had an amazing career, but then I had kids, and my youngest one had difficulties. I mean, if anyone's followed my journey, you'll know that he's autistic. So childcare was a nightmare. He was ill all the time, so I was having to take time off work. So I just started to do some freelance stuff to try and just get my business off the ground. And it just all happened by accident from there. And here I am 11 years on.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Because so often, you've got a career and you're going down a certain path, and then our values change so much when we get married and we have children, and then you need, to really take care of the kids because, there might be any issues, and so I just know how much time and effort you need to spend on them so that, they can grow up to be happy, healthy, and, amazing individuals as well. And so you probably wanted to spend more time at home to be with the family, but then you still wanted to have your own thing. So is that when you came up with an idea to set up your own home-based business?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? It wasn't an idea, because I think nearly 12 years ago now, I think in the UK, being a female entrepreneur and working from home wasn't a massive thing. It wasn't something that was well known. So it wasn't as if I saw loads of people and I wanted to kind of follow suit. It just happened accidentally. So I just started looking for things online that I could do. So I put something in Google, searching admin work from home, because I thought, right, I'm just going to start from the basics. And I just found a few things. that I could do. So I started just doing formatting documents for people, for like estate agents and things. And then I thought, actually, I could make a career out of this. I could actually do this full time. So I just did a lot of research and found the term virtual assistant, which I'd never, ever heard of before. And it just evolved from there. So I began my journey as an entrepreneur as a virtual assistant.
And you're an award-winning virtual assistant too. So let's find out a little bit more about that. So what happened? So you set up a VA business. You must have been offering a variety of administrative support skills to whatever, probably small business owners as well. Yeah, who needed some support. And so from there, what happened with these awards? I mean, congratulations. It's it's fantastic. It's nice to be the award-winning entrepreneur.
Do you know what it is? But I'm very coy about it, so I never really mention it, and I should. But it's like,
I'll mention it.
It's just a typical British thing, isn't it? Where we just don't want to kind of sing our own praises. But we need to. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think I did start out as a VA and I was offering everything. And it's a case of not knowing what you need to be doing. So you're a jack of all trades, aren't you? So you just say, well, I can do this and I'm going to do it for everybody. But then I soon realised that actually that's not the way to win. So I started niching. So I started realising that actually I didn't like doing everything. So I scaled back and just concentrating on the elements that I did enjoy doing. And I think that kind of set me out from the rest of the virtual assistants, because there's loads out there now. And they're all fantastic and they're all right. But I think as a true entrepreneur, you need to niche and you need to stand out and be different from everybody else. And I realised that, and I started kind of building my business online and started networking online, started just being really visible and making amazing connections. And then because of the way that my business was and the way that I niched and the way that I set myself apart from everybody else, obviously that was recognised, which is amazing. And I think that's kind of how my business has grown, because I realised early on that I didn't want to be like everybody else. But then I was like that from the age of 11, so you're never going to change me.
I think, and you know what? I think it's a really good thing to always want to be a little bit different, because we're always saying, what's your unique selling proposition? What is it that makes you different? What is it that makes you special? And because you don't want to, fit in with the pack, that's the only way really to excel. Because if you're going to conform, it's safe and it's comfortable, but it doesn't give you that opportunity to grow. So you step out of your comfort zone and you become known, and you think, oh, okay, well, let me grow some more and some more. That's how you win awards and you really get recognized. Absolutely. So what happened, Kelly, from being an award-winning VA to becoming the tech angel, which is when I met you? And so I know that, it's been 11 years in the making, or, maybe it was 9, 10, 11 years in the making. So what happened? How did it evolve?
I wanted to grow. I wanted to scale my business. But being a VA, the mindset of a VA is that you trade your time for money. So you would work, you'd bill your hours, and you will invoice your client for the hours that you've worked. And obviously, there's only so many hours you can work in a day. And then you need to look after the children, you need to look after your home, you need to look after your husband, you need to sleep, you need to eat. So you're limited to the number of hours that you can actually work, and therefore you're limited to how much you can actually earn. So I felt so constricted that I didn't want to be like that. So I would, in the holidays, for example, in the summer holidays, I'd have 6 weeks out because I couldn't work when the children were very young. I had 6 weeks out and 6 weeks with no income. And then by the time you've come back in September, it used to take me about 4 weeks, to kind of gain that momentum again and start getting more clients in. So you were talking 6 to 12 weeks of no income, and that's huge. And that was stressful and wasn't a very nice experience. So I thought, you know what, there has to be something different. Something needs to change, because it wasn't fair on me, it wasn't fair on my husband, who was supporting us all at the time. And I just stripped back even more the things that I could do away with. So I decided that I didn't want to just do basic admin anymore. I wanted to do a lot of training. I wanted to share my experience with others. I wanted to show other business owners how they can scale their business in the way that I did. So obviously that's how my courses were born. That's how, which we're going to talk about in a little while, that's how my tech club was born. That I just realized quickly that I needed a way to have a passive income so that I can actually step away from my business and still earn money. And that's kind of how my business has evolved from being a VA to where I am now, because I no longer call myself a VA, because I don't do the traditional VA stuff. And to be fair, I don't no longer trade my time for money and everything. I'm probably 80% passive now compared to where I was 100% billable hours.
Yes, that's right. I guess active versus passive. And certainly
Exactly.
the time for money thing is so hard, especially for people who are consultants, because, you know, I do these road to entrepreneurship workshops and, you know, how to start a business workshops. And so many people think, oh, I'm going to be a consultant. And they're so fixated on, you know, what should I be charging? What's my hourly rate? What's my half day rate? What's my full day rate? And I always think, oh my goodness, if that's the way that you're going to think, there's a cap to how much you can actually earn, because, you know, it's, and what happens if you're running your own business and you don't get your superannuation paid and you don't get paid leave, you don't get paid medical, you really need to be earning enough to be able to cover all of that as well. And so you need to have something to cover you when you go on holiday or when you're sick. And the only way to do it is if you have an alternative income stream or multiple income streams as well. Yes. And so you've covered the secret to this, which is fantastic. And so when you became the tech angel, what was it that prompted you to be the tech angel, and how did you come up with that name?
I worked with a coach actually, and the main thing that I helped most of my clients with was the technology. So a lot of the stuff, so I started doing, I was working a lot with WordPress and building membership sites and implementing things like mailing lists and all of the stuff that comes with kind of building your business online, because I had to learn all of that for myself because I didn't have the budget. So I knew all of the pitfalls. I knew all of the things that didn't work for me, and I knew all of the things that did. And I found myself naturally in this niche because I had a passion for the technology side of things. And I thought, you know what, I'm not doing all of the admin anymore, and I'm just going to solely concentrate on the technical side of stuff, because one, I loved it, and two, I realized there wasn't anyone else doing it. So I instantly stepped myself out of the conforming box into being something different, and something that I realized that actually what I call my ideal clients, soulmate clients, what they really needed. And it was kind of like the missing link. So that's what made me want to move to that. And that's kind of how the Tech Angel was born.
And who are your soul clients?
It would be female entrepreneurs who struggle with the technology, really. And there's a lot of them. There is. And you know what? Honestly, like a lot of my clients, I mean, my soulmate client ultimately is me. When I started out, I didn't have a clue how to run a business. I didn't have a clue what systems I needed to run a business. And a lot of my clients are like that. So they could be therapists, for example, who have a physical space in the high street. And then all of a sudden they're having to compete with all the competitors who are online. So they might be doing Facebook, they might have a website, and they're like, oh my God, I've never had an online presence before. And now all of a sudden I'm expected to. I haven't got a clue because I'm really good at doing the massage. I'm really good at, you know, doing all of the hands-on stuff, but haven't got a clue how to do everything else. So that's my soulmate client.
Yeah, I think the thing is that most people who are running their business are really good at what they do. And what they do could be baking pies. It could be executive coaching. It could be, like myself, career coaching is my main thing. And you get so focused on the doing and the delivery of what you really enjoy that you forget about the marketing side of it. And I have to admit, a little bit like you, Kelly, that once I started learning about the social media side and the digital market, it's so much fun, but there's so much to learn. And so if you're willing to put in the time and the effort to learn how to do it, that's great. But most people just don't have that inclination. And then they get confused and overwhelmed and they don't know what to do and they're going to chuck it all in. And that's when the wings of the tech angel appear. I like this analogy here. You know, I'm going to have a sip of my champagne because it's my birthday tomorrow and I'm allowed. And it's 8:30 at night in Sydney. And it's what time in the UK?
It's 10 to 12 in the afternoon, so it wouldn't be appropriate if I had a glass of wine just now.
Well, you could join me for my birthday lunch. But here we go. So cheers, Kelly.
Cheers.
Yeah, and so being able to find a way to automate and leverage technology and be able to reach a wider audience, this is what you help people do, right? So tell me all about the Tech Angel Club and how you help female business owners who are in overwhelm.
Okay, so first and foremost, I have my Facebook group, which is the Tech Angel Club, and that's a free group where people can come and get support from me, support from others. Aside from that, I have got my online VIP Tech Angel Club, which is a step further from the group, where I have all of my training. So there's videos, there's workbooks, there's guest VIP. So I get not only, because I know I don't know it all, so I get other people to come in and offer their insight and offer their expertise as well, to really give you kind of an all-round support. As well as that, we have monthly live Zoom group calls where all of the members come together and we all just have a chat and a coffee and support each other and get accountability. So I know that there's people that struggle with the technology. I know that perhaps they want to learn it for themselves. I know they haven't got a budget perhaps to outsource. Maybe they want to get new skills. So that's where you would come in to the VIP Tech Angel Club, where you would just get your hands on all of this amazing training. So there's things like all of social media, there's how to create sales pages, what they're about, what makes sales pages amazing, there's website training. What else is there? There's just loads. I can't even think off the top of my head. There's hours and hours and hours of videos. And it just makes a difference, doesn't it, having that resource? Because when I started, one, I didn't know what software I wanted. And then two, when I realized what I needed, I didn't know how to use it. So then I'd spend hours on like YouTube or Google just searching for silly little answers that might just take 2 seconds of somebody's time to say, you need to do it like this. But I would spend hours and hours trying to figure it all out. And that's why I've got the VIP Tech Angel Club, because I realise that people haven't got that time. All they want is the answers to their problems right now. And it's in there. And if it's not in there, then they just come to me and say, Kelly, I need to know how to do this. And I create it for them.
I think it would be it'd make life so much easier for anyone who's thinking about setting up a business to get it right from the beginning, because you're absolutely right. It's like, sure, we can Google stuff and we can go onto YouTube and watch videos to learn, but that learning process takes so long, and you're getting a little bit here, a little bit there, and it might not actually match up, and you might be using one system and the video might be about another system, and sometimes you just get really overwhelmed. And I find a lot of people say that they're constantly feeling in overwhelm because they're trying to do everything themselves. And, there's nothing wrong with saying help. I need a bit of support. It's actually quite sensible rather than getting yourself all stressed. And so with your the people that you help, are they budding entrepreneurs, or are they quite far down the track with their own business and they just want to get more online, or is it a mix?
It's a mix. I've got a couple that are literally just starting out in their journey, But then equally, I've got people in there who are quite far down in their journey, but maybe they've gone in a different direction, or they aren't really making a go of their business and they're lacking clarity. So they just come in and say, right, I'm stuck. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know who I'm working with. I don't know what systems are best for me. I can't find where my clients are. What platforms do I need to use? How do I use them? So I think wherever you are in your business is always evolving. Online is always evolving. Systems come and go. Systems change. So I think regardless of where you are in your business, you're always going to need that help, especially if technology is a struggle for you. So it is a mixture really, because as I say, we all change. So you might be at the beginning and you might be overwhelmed because you all of a sudden need to use online stuff and you've never used it before. Or you might be 3 years, 4 years into your business and you're still overwhelmed because your business has changed or the platforms are changed and you're just stuck.
I find this a lot because there are so many new digital platforms that come and go. And of course, you've got Facebook, which has been there and very, very successful. In fact, probably the most successful. Then you've got LinkedIn. Then you've got Instagram. Then you've got Twitter. Then there's Snapchat. And then for a while, there was Blab. And then there are all these different ones. And Blab came and went very, very quickly. But when it came, it was huge. And then all of a sudden, I turned around one day and it was gone. And I was just only thinking about dipping my toe in the water then. It had already disappeared. So how do you, as the tech angel, how do you keep up to speed with the ever-evolving and changing social media and digital platforms?
I'm lucky enough. It's a good question. I'm lucky enough that I've been on social media probably since it started. So I've seen the changes, especially Twitter. I was an early adopter of Twitter when it first came out. Not for business, but I used it for personal use. Equally the same as Facebook. So I'm very lucky in that I always had a presence. So I've just naturally gone along with it and adopted and adapted with it. Instagram, very much the same. So aside from those three key platforms which I'm active in, and it just kind of goes in kind of in a natural flow. I haven't really got to think about it too much. I've got that space and capacity to be able to dabble a little bit in the others as well. But for me, I don't really need to use all of them. I just use the ones that I know that my clients are using. And I don't claim to know it all. And I think that's key. And if somebody comes to me and says, Kelly, how do I use Snapchat for my business? I'd like, haven't got a clue, because I don't use it. I don't use it. I just use the ones that I feel that I need to be using, that my clients are using, and I just know them inside out. So if somebody does come to me and say, I need to use this platform and I've never used it, I would be honest and say, look, I've never used it. You need to find somebody else, because we can't know it all. And I think it's important for anybody to kind of hold your hands up and say, actually, I don't know it all, and it's okay not to know it all.
But you've got a really good Facebook program and really good Instagram program, and that's where obviously your target market hang out, and where their target market hang out too, most importantly, and that's why they need guidance on it. And with Facebook, it's such a great platform because you can really target and drill down, and with the analytics find out the demographics of your audience, and whether it's a geographic location or if it's an age group or whatever it might be, you can actually target them, can't you? But like when I discovered you, and I can't even remember how I found you. I think it was just through your group. I must have stumbled upon it and thought, oh, this looks pretty good. And I joined, and then I thought, oh, she talks a lot of sense, this woman. This is good. And then that's right. You had the Facebook Live challenge, and you threw down the gauntlet, and you got everyone who was a member to stop procrastinating and being fearful of being in front of the camera and start Facebook Live. Now, I'd been doing video for quite a while at that point, but I'd never done something live. And I thought, oh, what's the point? Because what if I mumble along and make a mistake and I can't edit it? And, what if I say something really stupid or whatever? But then it was good because your challenge was you kept everyone accountable, didn't you? Every single day you were there and, okay, who's going to do one? And they all tested it on your Facebook group, which is the Tech Angel Club on Facebook. And you were so encouraging because everyone, some people were really nervous and, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. And so when people came on, you gave them so much encouragement, and then they ended up being braver and braver, and they really got quite au fait with using Facebook Live. Yes.
Do you know what? It was an amazing challenge, and I've run it a few times since, and people are really scared. I think it's just the fear of the unknown, and also when you are going live, you're vulnerable, and people aren't used to being vulnerable, and especially in business, they like to be in control of everything. And to show your vulnerable side, it's a really, really good thing. And I find that a lot of entrepreneurs show up and they're not their true self, and people see through that. So if you go and do a Facebook Live, or if you be yourself in your business, you mess up on Facebook Live, we're all human, and people value that vulnerability more than they do somebody showing up with a glossy white background and an edited video. So that's kind of something that I wanted to do in that challenge, to say, look, it's okay for you to be scared, it's okay for you to mess up, and it's okay for you to show up as yourself. But I also realised that going live for the very first time is scary, because you've got the technology, haven't you? And that's my women. They don't know how to use the technology. So for me, giving them the opportunity to come into my group and test the technology first and foremost was really important. And I mean, look how much you've changed in terms of your Facebook Lives and how active you are as a result. And there's loads of ladies that now I'm seeing just going off and doing Facebook Lives, and I'm like, oh, look.
But first of all, it's so much fun. And also, there are times when I don't always plan everything weeks in advance. Some people have a year-long, 12-month strategy. I have a vague strategy. I kind of know what I'm going to do. But then sometimes I'm just sitting here and I'm working away and I have an idea and I think, oh, I might share that with the group. And it could be, because sometimes, within my group, which is the Kickstart Your Career group, there are people like in California or the UK or in Singapore or in Sydney, and it's all different time zones. And so I go on, and sometimes I'm very lonely. I'm all by myself. and it doesn't actually matter, because people can watch the replay, can't they? And they can
exactly.
And so that's nice. I haven't quite nailed it in making it like a massive following of Facebook Lives, but I'm still there. And the good thing is that there are many people who watch the replays, and then they comment, and then they send me private messages, and really it's touching one person at a time. I think that's really lovely. So thank you, Kelly. I'm really pleased with that. Yeah. And what else can people learn from you?
At the minute, I mean, my big thing is obviously learning how to get that clarity in your business, because I find that the ladies that come to me, they'll be like, I know how to use, I've done your Instagram course, I know how to use it, I've done your Facebook group challenge, and I want to grow a group, but I don't know what I'm saying, I don't know what I'm posting. So first and foremost for me is teaching them how to get that clarity. Because if you haven't got clarity on who you want to work with, you may as well forget your whole business, because nothing else is going to work. So I'm very much teaching people that you need to have clarity before you can have the direction, and to build your business organically without the need to pay for Facebook ads. Because the ladies that I work with struggle with technology anyway. So for them to be able to go and then master Facebook ads is just crazy. And so it's re-educating them to say, actually, you don't need to be paying for your adverts to be able to grow an amazing business.
I think
so that
yeah,
go on, sorry.
Yeah, if you have like an organic following and people are following you because they like what you say and they like what you do and you're providing value, I think providing value at the right time to your audience is the most important thing, rather than, pushing and selling or whatever. I mean, obviously everyone needs to sell something because they're in business too, but people always do business with other people that they know, they like, and they trust. And it's not until you've developed that relationship that they're going to feel really comfortable with you. And I think one of the things that's so wonderful about you and your Tech Angels Club is you give people a chance to get to know you and the way that you work. And then just slowly you let them know, look, I've got this. Now I've got, this Tech Angels Club program, the VIP program. I've got these different online programs as well. And then you let people know, but you don't say you must buy. It's just, hey, I've got it, are you interested? And by that time they all got to know you so well that it's like, oh well, if it's Kelly's, I'm going to do it anyway, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's like, for me, I'm not pushy. I'm all about selling. I always say I like to sell gracefully without actually selling. So I find selling awkward in terms of, buy from me, I'm just very much, I provide the support first and foremost. I really listen. So I know who my soulmate clients are, and I really listen to what they want and what their problems are. And this should apply for everybody that's in business, is really understanding what they need, what they want, what their problems are, because then you can support them fully. You can give them the value that they want and what they need. And then when it comes to something that you want to sell, they already love what you do. So you don't actually have to sell to them because they trust everything that you do and they love what you do. So that is a natural progression for them then to actually work with you and buy off you. Yeah. So I just, that's kind of my strategy, and it feels good.
And I think that's the beauty of inbound marketing, is that people come to you rather than you going out and trying to find them. So Kelly, tell me, what are your top 3 tips for entrepreneurial success or online success?
Okay, number 1, as I've already said, is the clarity, because there's no point on being online, there's no point trying to sell, there's no point having a presence if you don't know who your soulmate clients are and what your intention is. So what I mean by intention is, what is your end goal? What do you want these people to do? So who you want to work with, what do you want them to do when they kind of see what it is that you have to offer? So having that complete clarity around all of your business is really, really key. The second one is be yourself and be okay with being yourself, and not worrying about what other people think about you. Because I find that a lot of the ladies that come to me go, I can't do a Facebook Live, or I can't do this and I can't do that, because what will other people think of me? What if they think that I'm a fraud? What if they think that I'm lying? And this imposter syndrome, as everybody calls it, really stunts the growth of somebody's business. So you have to step into, I am good at what I do, and be confident with it. Share your story and be yourself. Like, you don't have to show up all pristine and in a suit and in a clinical environment and all of that. It's fine that you do your Facebook Lives in your car. It's fine that you do your Facebook Lives, wherever you are, because you're showing up as your true self, and people want to work with you as the person rather than somebody that's not real and authentic. And then my last one is ask for help, because I think in business we might go on social media and we might follow some people and we might look at them and think, oh, they've got it all sorted. They know what they're doing. They've been a success, and why am I sitting here and I can't achieve that? So you have to ask for help, and it's okay to ask for help, because we all need help. We all need that support, because all of us don't know everything, and how people show up is not necessarily the truth. So don't believe the hype, and don't buy into the hype. And those people will probably got a lot of team behind them, helping them. So they've asked for help in order for them to show up and be successful. So you need to ask for help and get help to be successful as well.
Fantastic tips, Kelly. And actually, it's so true, because most of what people post is curated. And so you only see the good stuff. You don't see all of that hard work, because I always like to think of it as that iceberg, and you only see the tip of the iceberg. You don't see all that muck underneath the water when everyone's scrambling. Or maybe the other analogy would be like a duck. You're looking very calm, cool, and collected on the top, but the little legs are going like crazy underneath. And most people are like that, because for every successful entrepreneur, there is years and years and years of hard work behind it. So really, an overnight success, a true overnight success where they just happen to land on their feet, is really maybe 1% or less, or 0.1% of the population would be an overnight success. It's a overnight success after about 10 years of hard work.
Yeah, it's about 10 years after 10 years of hard work. But then sometimes somebody might be in their third attempt at a business. It's not something that happens overnight. And that is, like you say, it's really important that people realize that, and people don't buy into courses that promise that you're going to make £7,000 in a week. It just doesn't happen like that. So it's about being real and realistic, and knowing that business isn't easy. It doesn't happen overnight, and it does take a lot of blimmin' hard work.
However, if anybody needs any help, there is the amazing VIP Club, right?
Exactly.
So tell me, when is the VIP Club launching, and how can they get to it?
It's open right now. And you can get to it by going to www.thetechangelclub.co.uk.
And also, if you want to follow Kelly, go to facebook.com/groups, the Tech Angel Club, and you'll find her. And I'll also have all of Kelly's websites and social media links on my show notes on janejacksoncoach.com, so you'll be able to find her and follow her and learn an awful lot from her, as I have done as well. And so I have to tell you, I'm very excited, because in 3 weeks' time I'm going over to the UK to see my daughter, and I'm having a family reunion up north. And guess where Kelly Cairns is? Up north. So we're going to meet in Durham, aren't we?
We are. It's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited about that.
It's going to be so much fun, because here we are, we're looking at each other. I feel like I know you so well already, having met you virtually on Facebook in October. But then now we're going to meet, and we'll do a Facebook Live, and I think that's going to be great fun. So
it will be really fun.
I know. Isn't digital amazing? You get to make you just meet some fantastic people. And I was very privileged to meet you, Kelly. So have a good
likewise. It's going to be good. It'll be an experience.
We'll have lots of photos. Okay. So thank you so much for your time. It's now getting a little bit late in Sydney, even though it's just your lunchtime in London. I'm going to have my glass of bubbles, and when I wake up in the morning, I will be a year older, because it's my birthday. And so we'll celebrate Kelly together in Durham.
Exactly. Have an amazing birthday tomorrow.
Thank you. Thanks so much for coming on the show. It's been really...
You're very welcome.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to find out how coaching can help you, visit janejacksoncoach.com, where not only will you be able to listen to other fascinating interviews from professionals who've made amazing career changes, you'll also be able to download some free ebooks and guides on how to manage your career effectively.
You've been listening to Jane Jackson Careers. Sign up to receive regular career advice at janejacksoncoach.com.